Have you ever crafted a version of yourself that wasn't exactly you, just a bit more likable, more confident, more put together? Maybe you did it to get a job, or to fit in at school, maybe even to survive in certain environments. At first, it feels harmless. A slight tweak here, a little mask there. But what happens when that persona becomes permanent? What happens when you become the character you created and you forget who you actually are underneath it? We all wear masks. It's part of being human. We adjust how we speak, how we act, even what we believe, depending on the people around us. Some call it adaptability, some call it strategy. But there's a point where it stops being functional and starts being dangerous. Because when the gap between who you are and who you pretend to be gets too wide, you start to lose yourself. This isn't just about social media, though it plays a huge role. Online, we build curated versions of ourselves. We show our best angles, our happiest moments, our most interesting thoughts. And over time, that curated self becomes the standard we feel pressured to live up to. You start wondering, am I this person, or just playing them on the internet? The danger of the persona trap is that it's seductive. It offers approval, attention, validation, and it works until it doesn't, until it starts to feel hollow, until you're exhausted trying to keep the character alive, until you're not sure what you even believe anymore. That's when it hits. You've gone so long performing, you're no longer sure what's real. I started this channel, Cheeky, as a way to figure out who I really am. And maybe you felt the same, that tension between the self you show and the self you hide. It's why this channel slowly reveals more of me at each milestone. Because I didn't want to rush into another performance. I wanted to create space for discovery, for becoming, not pretending. And that's what this video is really about. Recognizing when we've fallen into the persona trap and finding a way out of it. Let's talk about where personas come from. Often they're born out of survival. Maybe you learned early on that your real self wasn't accepted. Maybe you were told you were too much or not enough. So you adjusted, you played a role, and the world rewarded you for it. But when the reward is external validation at the cost of internal authenticity, you pay a hidden price. You start to feel disconnected. You're surrounded by people who like you, but you can't shake the feeling that they don't really know you. And maybe they don't. Maybe you haven't given them the chance, because to do that would mean being vulnerable, being real. And that's scary. But here's what I've learned. No amount of approval is worth abandoning yourself. No amount of claps or likes or praise can fill the space left behind when you bury your real identity. So if you've been living as a persona, this is your invitation to peel it back. Not all at once, not dramatically, just piece by piece, moment by moment. Start by noticing when you feel the need to perform. Ask yourself why. What are you afraid will happen if you show up as you? And here's the irony. When you finally do start showing up as yourself, you begin to attract the people who are meant for you. The ones who see the real you and stay. The ones who don't need the performance. And yes, it's terrifying at first. You'll feel exposed, but over time you'll also feel something else. Freedom. This doesn't mean you'll never play roles again. We all shift depending on context. That's normal, but the difference is awareness. When you know why you're wearing a mask and when to take it off, you stay in control. The persona trap isn't a one-time escape. It's a daily practice, a constant return to self. And sometimes it's messy. Sometimes you take off one mask only to realize there's another underneath. That's okay. This isn't about perfection. It's about progress. About slowly, courageously, becoming more of who you actually are. And that's what this channel is about. It's not just about topics or scripts. It's about honesty, discovery, peeling back the layers of personality, identity, and performance to figure out what's real. And I'm doing it with you, one video at a time. So if you've ever felt like you've lost yourself in a role you thought you had to play, know that you're not alone. And more importantly, you can come back to yourself. Not by performing harder, but by letting go, bit by bit. Because who you really are, underneath all the masks, might be far more compelling than any character you could ever play.